All right, I think we are set here to go, guys. Welcome to another edition of the webinar where we're going to explain kind of what Foos Alerts is, as well as what the hedge fund is, ClickFund, that's run by Peter Zhang here, a good friend of mine. So first off, I'm just going to kind of go into what foosalerts.com is, what we do, kind of give you the rundown of the business that we run and the education that we provide, and then I'm going to hand the ball over to Peter, and he's going to kind of tell you everything you need to know about the hedge fund, which is a great opportunity for traders, especially people who want as much freedom as a trader as I do, and to really fully take advantage of the alerts and my education. Being part of the hedge fund is a really great opportunity. So first off, my name is Cameron Foos. I founded foosalerts.com, I believe 2011 it was, but I started 2006. I started the technicaltrader.net. I've been trading for about 10 years now, and been running an educational service alongside of that for nearly a decade. It'll be a decade in 2016. So I've been doing this for a while, all in front of everybody, and kind of learning with people along the same path. But basically what I do now is offer a 14-hour online training course, which is known as Foos 4, and Foos 4 Part 2, and that's basically just 14 hours teaching you from start to finish everything I've learned about making money and losing money in the stock market. I go over hours of examples of just me making stupid mistakes trading, and that's more important than knowing how to win. Knowing how to lose correctly is way more important than knowing how to win correctly, because so many people just lose money in the beginning because they're either not educated, either they're just not built to be a trader. Trading has a lot to do with your mental capacity and your ability to control your emotions and just to click buy and sell when you need to. So psychology is actually a huge part of trading. I can teach anybody anything that I know, but unless they can click the buy and sell button at the right times, then you're not going to win as a trader. You're most likely just going to hold on to a stock when it goes into a losing position and not cut your loss. Next thing you know, that's in a huge losing position, and you're asking me what the hell to do. And that's almost something that you just kind of have to learn by yourself. I started trading, and it took me several years to actually, finally become a profitable trader. But one of the biggest reasons was because, one, I didn't really have a full-on mentor or an educational system or a process or trading strategy that I was fully, trying to follow. I was basically kind of just building my own trading strategy along the way. So it took me a long time to really get the hang of things and understand the do's and don'ts. And that's what I'm here now, is to try to help you guys cut down that time it took me to become a profitable trader, cut that down significantly so you can actually see what I was doing right and what I was doing wrong in the beginning, so that you can get started on a footstep rather than just kind of winging it and failing. And it's very, very easy to blow up your account when you're a beginning trader, especially if you haven't gone through education. A lot of people look at the education and they're like, oh man, Foos 4 and Foos 4 Part 2, $1,000. I don't want to waste my money on that. I just want to give it a shot, go into the chat room and see if I can wing it. And some people, very, very few do it. I can tell you right now, I can almost guarantee you nobody in my chat room that actually makes money, unless they are an experienced trader, make any money unless they go through the Foos 4 training. So it's almost pretty much required that you go through that training, whether it be through me or somebody else. If you're going to join my chat room, actually invest in this. This is, a profession. It's not something that you just pick up one day and start doing. Trading, becoming a trader is a profession, just like becoming a doctor or a lawyer. These are things that people spend a lot on their education before they even actually get to test their skills or become, labeled as a doctor or a lawyer. You have to go through a shitload of education before you can actually be good at that. And there's no difference with trading. You have to go through the training process. You have to become, a trader. You can't just become a trader overnight. So that's, just emphasizing on education first. Next after that is Foos Alerts, where you actually get to see and hear me talk. I don't usually run a webcam, but you're basically seeing a live stream of my desktop. So you're seeing exactly what I'm trading, exactly what I'm looking at, rather than looking at this mug. You're actually seeing the charts that I'm looking at, and actually have live commentary over that. So I'm basically calling out my trades, saying, hey, I just bought XYZ, this many shares for this reason. You also get an alert in the chat room which is an audible alert. It's basically set up as like a Twitter feed. I'll do a screen share here so you can see what it actually looks like. You know, when you guys see the screen here, do you see the live trading screen here? All right, so basically, if you go into the chat room here, this is basically our live, or actually those alerts are deleted now since it's later in the session and it resets. But basically, this is our chat room. On the left side here, you'll basically see an alert feed that basically just looks like Twitter. You'll see, you know, the actual buy price, sell price, and all that stuff. So you see exactly what I just bought. It's a sound that comes through. And also, we also have a radar system. So anybody in the chat room can actually, you know, come in and make a radar alert or a buy alert or sell alert saying, you know, hey, I just bought this stock, and you can actually alert it just like Twitter. And it comes through and you see it on this little sidebar over here. So just for example, I'll send out radar saying, hey, I'm looking at ANAD, you know, watch for a revival breakout over 130. So once you click /R, that just comes in as a radar. It pops up over here. There's actually these little heart buttons over here we can click. You know, if you like it, if you thought that was a good alert, you can click it. And we actually have a ranking system so you can see who are the kind of most influential and top traders in chat. So that's a really cool way to make it more of a communal group, you know, trading atmosphere where we're all kind of working together. It's not just me in here, you know, making alerts. You know, I typically only trade for the first 1 to 2 hours. The rest of the day, you know, I don't really trade that often. So the rest of the session, you know, like one of our top traders, Frisco, who is always making great alerts in the chat room. He's always killing it, and he trades, you know, throughout the whole session. I typically focus on the first 1 to 2 hours. So it's a great way to have a little bit more authority for people that want to prove themselves and actually, you know, gain some recognition in the chat room. So that's basically just the rundown of what we do at Boost Alerts. You know, first always start off with your education, come out in the chat room, and basically check it out. And you also see this is what Boost TV looks like. You're basically looking at this screen with live commentary just like this, where I'm looking at stocks, buying and selling, and you see exactly what I'm looking at as I'm buying and selling. So you kind of get a more clear view of why I bought that stock, and also, you know, relating those Boost 4 patterns that I teach in those training DVDs. But anyways, you know, again, you know, this is what this webinar is about, is the hedge fund, and I'm going to pass the mic over to Peter here. But basically, you know, the hedge fund is a great way to really take full advantage of the Boost Alerts membership, so you can actually, you know, freely trade and trade the stocks that I do as well as I do. So Peter, if you want to just go ahead and get started on the hedge fund, and
sure,
go for it, buddy.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks, Cam. Appreciate that. What's up, guys? Peter Zhang here. I helped set up ClickFund, and we set it up so that it really helps what we call incubate traders. You know, the unfortunate thing about, you know, when I started in the past, it's like, you know, I started by myself. I had a little brokerage account, Thinkorswim account, was not really happy with it. Didn't really know how to trade, was bouncing around different services, didn't really know what I was doing. Blew up a couple accounts, and I really wish I had, you know, some hand holding along the time, you know. So thankfully, I spent years and years and years just chasing down the structures and all that type of stuff, and ClickFund was just something natural that came along. You know, Cameron is a what we would call like a certified coach within ClickFund. So when you essentially, instead of going to, you know, a broker or trading by yourself, I think one of the things that is really lacking for traders, especially overall retail and guys that are just jumping in, is that they don't have the tools, the coaching, the mentoring that comes along with all those that have, quote unquote, say maybe the pedigree to go join a hedge fund, to get hired and get a salary. Now, you're not going to get a salary in the hedge fund, but you are going to get internal money to trade with. It's important that you understand, though, that there is a vetting process, and it's relatively simple. You take education, you make sure you pass quizzes, and you make sure that you understand the material, and you essentially get training wheels to trade on the hedge fund's money. Now, I'm not saying that everybody passes. It is important that you do spend time learning the material, and referring to your coach Cameron here, and understanding exactly what you're jumping into. And like Cameron said, like trading is not a fly-by-night kind of thing. Like that is the #1 way to blow yourself up and to crush all your dreams, is if you try to throw everything you have at one single trade thinking that you're going to get rich. It's not how it happens. And we are trying to reiterate that with traders. On top of that, retail traders that are trading through their a normal brokerage account, say with Thinkorswim, Charles Schwab, a couple other ones, they're always selling your flow. And this is something that I learned over time, where the selling of flow, you guys are actually the ones juicing all the high frequency traders out there. You're the ones that are feeding the market makers out there. And these are things that you're going to learn from being in ClickFund, and things that you're going to learn from Cameron, that when you sell your flow, what ends up happening is that others can see your orders, okay? Meaning that other participants that are selling the stock and you're trying to buy it, they can see you coming from a mile away. And that's problematic, especially for young traders. Now, the interesting thing about it is that many people don't even think about it. Many people don't even understand what the implications are. Let's just say that, like Cameron was saying, it's all about the psychology, right? In the end, it's about how well you can execute on your plan and how well that you can just, abide by your rules. When you send normal orders through, what ends up happening is that the best orders are going to get skipped. So when that one dip buy that was the best dip buy, you're going to miss that dip buy. That one breakout that's the real breakout, you're most likely going to miss that breakout. And it's not coincidence that your flow is being sold. And one thing that we try to do in the hedge fund is try to juice you up with a lot of technology. What we try to do is bring what we call the ivory tower tools, like all these super big hedge funds that have Bloombergs and all that. We're trying to bring it to the people. And when you get started, it's essentially the best setup that's even possible out there. I don't know. I honestly, I've done so many of these webinars, and it's just, I wish it was more apparent out there. Like it's useless and fruitless, and it's a waste of money to not be educated in what you are trading. When you go and you buy the right education and you spend enough time actually learning and sitting essentially on Cameron's shoulders and watching him how he trades, you will eventually pick it up. That's how all traders do it in prop shops, in hedge funds. It's all about the mentorship process. And you're essentially an apprentice. You're a student. And you sit there and you learn from these traders. And what ends up happening is that you are also allowed to trade the hedge fund's money. You are allowed to start off slow. The way that we start everybody off is that they have a certain base amount of shares to trade. And from there, we assess your risk. It's a bi-weekly risk assessment that we see that if you're doing well, we're going to give you more leverage. If you're doing poorly, we're going to say, hey, you might have to sit in the penalty box for a little bit and do a little bit of review and catch up on a little bit of education. And again, guys, this whole process here is to try to reinforce good behavior and to not reinforce bad behavior. We want to take things away from you. So it's a very, very simple system for us. And thankfully, we've been able to scale it. And again, the idea is for you guys to be able to make the right decisions, to be rewarded for it, to slowly be on your path to actually trading profitably, instead of just pissing it away in some random account of yours that you may be even sending the money overseas. That's it's all about safety these days. Okay, one is the execution safety, knowing that your orders are being treated fairly. I don't know if you guys know about Chaim Bodek, but you guys should go see the documentary called Wall Street Code. It's all about Chaim and how he found out how the stock market essentially was rigged against the small players. And you guys should really, really pay attention to how your orders are sent. And unfortunately, again, traders aren't able to focus on it, so we try to do it for you. We want to take all the operational risk out. We set you up. There's a risk desk. His name is Jeff. He's always there to help you out. And we talk through it. You can call the risk desk, talk about your trade even. They'll even help you out. And Cameron's here as well. And again, guys, the whole idea here is that you buy education, you learn some stuff, you go through an incubation process to slowly scale you up. It is no good to essentially, trade by yourself. The idea here is don't trade by yourself. The idea is to go get educated and get funneled into an incubation mode. And when you get incubated, you get to slowly grow, and hopefully someday become very successful. Cameron, I think I might have pushed a little quickly through it, but that's essentially it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything else to say about it, but basically it's just a great way to really maximize your potential as a Fusler student. Especially for beginners, this is a great way to get started, as opposed to the other options that you have out there. I've been through so many different brokers out there, and this is not a broker. This is just a different avenue to be able to trade stocks, and I believe that this is a much better avenue to take rather than trading with a broker.
Totally, guys, and we are not a broker dealer, and we don't make commissions on you. We don't make money on the flow, and that's where you have problems when you go to a broker. When you go to a broker, there are disaligned incentives. You have to go to a broker, and they could go negotiate another deal with whoever's executing your trades to make more commission money on top of you. It's just like Robinhood. When you go to Robinhood, they tell you it's a free trade, but they're actually getting a kickback from the market maker. And these are just some concepts I'm just throwing out there so you guys can slowly understand it. But the idea here is that stop going to brokers. Just get educated in the right places and be able to qualify to join a hedge fund. Hedge funds used to be a very, very difficult thing to do, and a very, very, where you'd have to, come out of Harvard, and you'd have to be some PhD, or you'd have to have like 8 to 10 years in finance. That's not the case anymore. Hedge funds are becoming more of a product for traders out there, for them to understand and slowly grow themselves. And that's the industry that we're in. And again, guys, we're here to help you risk manage, and we're here to help you grow. You got a few questions in here. I see Maximilian's got a question on risk management technique. So risk management technique, guys, it's a function of drawdown. Like Cameron was saying, it's about how you are able to lose. Everybody can knock out a home run every once in a while. It's about all those stupid trades before you hit that home run. And what we try to do is prevent that. We are able to automatically flatten your position if you are reaching some critical levels. You could speak directly with the risk desk and talk about, hey, should you be doubling up? Should you be exiting the trade? All these sorts of things. You don't get a risk desk when you're with a broker. You don't get a risk desk anywhere. The idea is you got somebody to kind of like guide you through the process of executing. Got any questions here? So, yes, you're rewarded for doing well in the hedge fund, guys. To be completely transparent, the way that it starts is that you don't get to trade, freaking $100,000 right off the bat. You get to trade a certain amount of our capital with a certain drawdown amount. Depending on how well you do in education and how well Cameron says you've done and how much he trusts you and how much that how well you've done in the educational pieces is going to determine kind of your risk level. That's a starting basis. And then we monitor you week by week. We see every position, we see every entry, we see every exit. Okay, we are analyzing this at all times. And it ends up what happens is that if you do poorly, we tell you, hey, take a little break. And a lot of times traders hate us for this, for the first, honestly, probably the first month that we tell them to slow down a little bit. But like Cameron said, it takes a long time to become profitable. And go ahead, Cameron. Yeah.
I was just saying it's all built the way you guys have it set, the way the hedge fund is set up with risk management is all there to help you prolong your career as a trader, because it is so easy to get into a downward spiral in trading. Just one bad trade and you're in a mental, mind fuck, and you can try to, dig yourself out of that. But most often, the best thing for you to do is not even to trade. Just walk away. And that's what's good about the risk management desk, is that sometimes they're like, hey, you just need to take a cool breath, walk away, come back tomorrow fresh, rather than just sitting there bored at your trade station thinking you have to make a trade to, make it for this loss. The whole idea of this risk management team that's provided with the hedge fund is to prolong your education process as a trader, because a lot of people just get thrown into trading, sign up for a broker, don't have any real, risk management other than their head, which their head is their worst enemy when you're a beginning trader. So, it's really important that the risk management team is there so that you have time to actually learn how to trade rather than just making mistake after mistake after mistake right off the bat, and then you blow up your account, and then you either got to go save up money to try again, or you got to quit. So it's really, really beneficial to have that risk management team on your back just to help you out and prolong your education process.
Yeah, and some people are asking some specifics on like how it's set up and commitment periods, commissions, and all this. Hit up Robert if you guys have any questions. He's got all the details for you. In terms of how we assess risk for per person, it's a case by case. Sometimes we can immediately tell that one person is immediately every single trade, one trade after the other, every one that he fires off is a losing trade. There is a process for us where we say, hey, you're gonna relax for the rest of the day. We'll keep the platform turned on. We'll let you press some buttons, but you're not gonna actually be able to trade in the live markets. We're gonna suspend you for that day, so you can just try to learn it. Then afterwards, you can have a talk with the risk desk, kind of go through the process, what was going through your head. It's kind of nuts, actually. The risk desk acts kind of like the couch sometimes, like the psychology couch. I've heard Jeff sit on with traders for hours, just trying to go through trades and trying to understand what happened. And it's really solid, and on top of that, you have Cameron. Cameron's a solid coach. He knows what he's doing. He's been in the game for a long time. And it's important for you guys, again, to learn from these guys. We got some
Yes.
questions.
Talk about Canadians. You can join from anywhere in the country or anywhere in the world. So it doesn't really matter where you're from.
Average time it takes to be profitable. That's a very broad question. We've seen traders that were hot right off the bat. And then we've seen traders that were sputting along for 6 to 8 months. It's hard to tell. It honestly depends on kind of how the market's doing and how you're doing and your mental mindset and how well you just kind of get used to it. Instead of like complicated, so the platform itself is actually a platform that we developed. It's all internal. It's not your Sterling trader. It's not your DAS trader. It's nothing like that. It's an internal proprietary platform meant for simple use for the trader. The whole idea here is that your user experience is going to be simplified so that you can be solely focused on trading. We're going to help you even with risk. We're going to even help you with technology. You literally are just focusing on trading. And guys, there's no depositing within the fund. You are literally going to get certified to be allowed to trade. All right, so you take the education, and what ends up happening is that you pass the education. We talk to Cameron. He gives us the green light. We bring you on, and we put training wheels on you. And you're going to stay on training wheels, and if you do really well, you will get a Ducati. You will not start off with a Ducati. All right, looks like we've got a ton of questions here. Rob, I'm going to say that these majority are great questions for you. Specifics on the hedge fund, again, hit up Rob. The fees, the same fees that we have are essentially where they're just passed on to you. So whatever rebates, whatever commissions that we get from our clearing brokers, you guys get. We have multiple clearing firms and all that type of stuff. Looks like somebody heard Ducati in here. Is there market research support provided by the fund, or is it left to the individual trader? So Max, this is something that's a great question. Sitting with Cameron and talking into his community, emailing back and forth with risk is your market research. This is your hub. The idea is so that you don't have to go outside and have too much noise. Most of the time traders think that they need 20 moving averages and then 5 indicators and then 30 other different news feeds. It's not like that. That's just what they try to tell you on TV. All right, it's not like that. It's about understanding who you are. It's about understanding buyers and sellers in the markets and understanding how to place a bid and how to place an offer. All right, it's as simple as that. But it does take time to learn. All right, so market research will be provided internally with the fund as well as with Cameron here.
Is there any more questions you want to answer from there? Or should we just, I mean, they're mostly specifics that are set aside for Rob here.
I see some questions asking about clearing. We have multiple clearing, Denise. I know a lot of people are concerned about shorts and all that. I would say that the shorts that we have access to are pretty solid. So up on the upper level way that it works is that the hedge fund sits here. So the hedge fund sits here, multiple clearing, and then across the multiple clearing, there are these things called stock loan desks. All right, so the stock loan desks are essentially the ones that go and look for these short sells for you, and those are there. And I don't think we've had any issues actually with funding shorts. So I know that's important for the guys that are starting off. Some of the easiest trades are the ones where it's a pump and dump. That's BS. You want to short it. You want to catch the momentum to the downside, kind of thing. I understand. I was there. I know the problems. We got it covered.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think that's about it for the webinar here. I want to thank you guys for joining. Thanks, Peter, for coming in and giving us more details on the hedge fund and continuing our partnership together and helping educate people on this opportunity that there is rather than trading with a broker. This is a really great opportunity. I'm really thankful for you guys to be doing this because it provides such a better opportunity for my students to really take advantage of getting started and actually making money in the stock market as opposed to other options that kind of hold them back from being able to really follow my strategy and become a profitable trader.
Of course, man. It's always a pleasure. Guys, thanks for coming along. Any questions, ask Rob. I'll be around. And thanks again, Cameron. Enjoy this webinar here.
All right, man. Take it easy. Thanks for joining, everybody. I'll see you guys. Hopefully, if you're interested, check out foosalerts.com. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow morning on Foos TV. Let's go make some money.